How many dimensions could God create? The answer to that is an infinite amount of dimensions. We know that not even the heaven of heavens can contain God. We know this from 1 Kings 8:27. So if God cannot be constrained or confined by that which he creates, that means he is forever beyond his creation. But when we really take a look at God, before he created anything, it was just him. But what did he reside in? The answer to that is within himself. And within himself, there is no locality, there is no place, and there is no border. So this means that God is dimensionless. That means that God is able to create an infinite amount of that which he has already revealed that he has created and what he chooses to create. And what God chooses to create is not everything that he could create. There are higher realities that we don't even know or understand to God. We know that he not only is existence, but he transcends existence. He not only is being, but he transcends being. He not only is the ultimate metaphysical reality, but he transcends reality. He transcends the metaphysical realm. And that is the curious wonder behind God, is that he's ineffable. Truly, there is no word that can describe him. That's why the phrase he gives Moses in Exodus 3:14, "I am that I am," is such a powerful phrase because it conveys everything, yet it leaves an infinite amount of mystery behind what he gives Moses. And it is only God who could say something of such immense proportion, such an innumerable amount of revelation that can be gathered. Even eternity cannot unravel that phrase, and yet God was able to speak so profoundly as to who he is within 5 words. I am that I am. And so, how many dimensions could God create? Well, we need to understand that when it was just God, he didn't reside within a dimension. Actually, he is the creator of dimension themselves. So, since he created dimension, he obviously can create an infinite amount. Just as he created us in his image, however, he could create an infinite amount of people in his image if he desired. God could have time go on for infinity if he wanted and continue to make someone new, even making someone new at every millisecond. He could have so many people that he's just creating, and maybe he just makes them just pop into existence. But there would be a never-ending amount of what God could create in regard to us. So we need to see that with God, since he's the creator of all things, he's omnipotent, he's unlimited in creative power. He's omnipresent. He's able to produce and bring forth anything and everything. And since he's omnipotent, he has the power and capabilities, all powerful, to do so. We know that even dimension itself was created, and therefore, whatever God creates, he can create an infinite amount of. This is just mind expanding and mind blowing because with anything and everything that God brings forth, there can be an infinite amount of that very thing, and we might not be able to understand it or imagine it. It's most likely way beyond our comprehension. And yet we are able to take the simple fact that God can do an infinite amount of things in a variety of ways. He can create one thing, but he can do it an infinite amount of times, and it will look different each and every time. There's not one bird that's the same. There's the same category of bird, parrots, but not one parrot is the same as another parrot. There are differentiations that might not even be perceived by the human eye or what can be heard with a parrot, but nonetheless, God knows the differentiations behind everything because he contains all of that knowledge because he created everything. So how many dimensions could God create? The answer to that is an infinite amount of dimensions. We don't even know what that looks like, but only God knows. And that's the beautiful reality to God, is that there are truths, realities, and there are things about God that we will never even come to know, even all throughout eternity. But that should excite us and to motivate us to press more into God, to know more about him, because he truly rules and reigns supreme over all, and truly Everything has been made by him and made for him. May all come to know the one true God by believing that Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior and repenting of their sins.